So Steve, what are the requirements for the Platinum Grant Program?
So the Platinum program is through the Golden State Finance Authority, and the Platinum program is designed just for California. You have to have a 640 minimum credit score, California property, be a first-time home buyer, you need to attend and pass a mandatory home buyer class. Your household income has to be under the Platinum income limits, just like the Cal HFA and some of the other programs. And the same thing also as a purchase price has to be under their threshold as well.
Okay. And how does this program differ from other down payment programs?
So the main difference in this program versus some of the other programs, especially different from the Cal HFA program, is the assistance is forgivable after 3 years. Okay, so Platinum Grant, is it a grant? It's really a forgivable second lien now. It used to be called a grant. They more or less define it now as a forgivable second. The program also has a little bit more flexibility if you're buying a manufactured house. It's more usable. You can use it on the FHA, VA, and the USDA option for this program.
Okay, great. And how much down payment assistance will the buyer get?
So they get a percentage of the purchase price. So if we use the conventional first mortgage tiered with the Platinum program, they can get up to 5%. So what that means, if you're doing the 97% conventional, you've got 3% to go towards down payment, an extra 2% left over for closing cost assistance. On FHA and VA first mortgage, you get up to 4%, and then if you're using a USDA first, 100% financing, you can get a full 3% to cover closing costs.
Great. And how much would a buyer have to come in with out of pocket?
So typically one would need, for this program, about 3 to 4% in total money for closing costs. Both the Cal HFA and this program has a 1.5% added fee to it, so you're going to need 3 to 4% probably at least to cover the full closing cost spectrum there. And so, like with the other programs, we're going to try to ask the seller to cover some of those costs. And so with this program, you're going to get most of the closing costs covered, but you might need a little extra from the seller to help out, or from a family member, or from their savings.
Okay. And what type of buyer is this program ideal for?
Well, again, anyone that doesn't have any money for a down payment or doesn't want to utilize funds for a down payment, anyone who's limited to their resources, they don't have access to gift funds from a family member, and so anyone that fits the requirements, 640 minimum, under the income thresholds, with limited resources would be a perfect candidate.
Okay, great. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.